this gets answered here. Are we up? Okay. Yeah. Good afternoon, Evolution family. I'm Jose Labrador Archer Travel Service. I want to welcome you to the Wednesday training. Today is Wednesday, April 30th, 2025. It's a little bit after 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Already the month of May is I'm sorry, it's Wednesday, it's hump day. The month of April is now gone. Tomorrow will be May 1st. Will be May Day tomorrow. And I want to welcome all of you. Alex is with us and he's driving the controls today for this training. So let's go to the next slide, Alex.
Hello. Sure thing, Jose.
All right, this is a good one we got for you. And the reason why we're setting this up for you right now is because we're heading into May, and now is when your family members, your friends are going to be talking about summer travel, doing, road trips, staycations, weekend getaways. Here's this training is going to show, I'm going to show you some tips and some hacks how you can make more commission by booking some of this. A lot of your family members, your friends, your potential clients, they don't know that you can book that. Like, here I'm in Los Angeles and my parents, I knew something would break up, my phone. But, you got people that are going to San Diego. That's a 2-hour drive from here. I can book that hotel for you. I can book that, hop on, hop off tour of San Diego or Palm Springs or Santa Barbara, etc. So I'm going to be showing you these, and that's why we do this around this time of year, because we're getting into the summer months. Now, if you want a copy of this PowerPoint, all you need to do is email me at the end of the presentation, and I'll shoot it off to you, okay? We do this in the summertime, and we also do it around wintertime, just to remember, because that's when the majority of people are out on the roads, is the summer holiday vacations and the winter holiday vacations. We want to make sure that you take advantage of these, okay? All right, so let's go to the next slide. Here we go. Before we do that, you should start looking at this. We're now, entering the 5th month of the year. Now's the time to book late fall, especially the holidays. If you got people wanting to go to Universal Epic Universe, Disney, Aulani in Hawaii, next spring of 2026, now is the time to book. Now is, start planting those seeds with all your clients. If they want to do that holiday special, we really want to go to, Rome for the holidays, or we want to go to Mexico all inclusive, get that, or that cruise. Start booking that now, because that sells out really quickly. And now's the time where those deals are. You don't want your client coming to you, go, well, we want to do it in October. Well, you missed the deal. Those deals are now gone. And the rates on those cruise lines or those all-inclusives, because you're only 60 days out from travel, they're going to go boing. So now's the time to say, hey, you know what? You always wanted to do that. You wanted to take the kids down to Dreams, or you wanted to go to beaches, or if you want to do sandals as a holiday thing, now is the time to book it with all those great sales. Okay, so think about that. All right, let's go to the next slide. Well, and right, the weather here, Alex, right? Yesterday was beautiful. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all weekend long, it was like dreary. It was like Ireland, Yes, yesterday was beautiful. It was a really beautiful day, like 78 degrees. It was almost 80 degrees. We're back again today to that yucky marine layer cloudy stuff. Summer Road Trips Staycations 2025. Again, this travel niche really came out of when we had the pandemic. And because people, wanted to travel, but they didn't want to really go that far. You couldn't get on an airplane, but they had to go places. So that's where this kind of came into. And also staycations, for the last 5 to 6, almost 10 years now, staycations is really, really popular. And you can make some really, really good commissions doing these. You just need to know how to do it. So like I said, if you want a copy of this PowerPoint, all you need to do is email me at the end of the presentation, and I'll send it off to you. See, 2025. All right, let's go to the next slide. Okay, daily current travel status. And this is something you have to be aware of. Okay, let me ask you this, okay, right now, to the comments room. In the last 3 days, something happened in Europe. Tell me what it was. It was pretty important, too. It was pretty dangerous, too. And it affected a lot of people. So, tell me. You see, you got to stay informed, especially on something like that, what happened, okay? So again, comments room, tell me what happened in Europe 2 days ago. Okay? What happened? And tell me. You got to stay informed, because if you had people going there, that affected their travel. So monitor, trusted news sources, check destinations, the weather. You guys, hurricane season's coming up. And we follow the hurricanes a lot. If you remember last year, we let you know when the airports were closed, when Miami was closed, when Orlando was closed, all of those. And it affects all of that.
Rosalind and Daphne are saying blackout.
That's right. The Spain blackout. And you got to be on top of that, because if you had people flying there yesterday, I mean, come on. Not only did it affect Spain, also France, parts of Germany, and Portugal. So that's why I'm saying, be on top of it. Check also the weather. Check the roads and highways and websites. Here in California, we have a website. We have a phone number that we can call for highways if the freeways are closed due to snow, etc. So use that and check your U.S. travel alerts. Again, the USA just listed, I think it was on Monday or Tuesday, they listed 23 countries that they don't want Americans traveling to. You need to know this. So when someone says, we want to go to Miramar, or we want to go to some, abstract country, Chad, wait a minute. The U.S. State Department says, no, they don't want you going there because it's very, very dangerous. So you have to be aware of all this stuff and check that out. I mean, I'm not saying you got to beat it to death, but know about it, okay? And how would you deal with that? Okay, so there's the question right there, comments room. You had clients going to Spain, okay? Power outage when they arrive. What happens? What do you do if they call you? Okay, there it is. All right, type in something. Let's go to the next slide, and we'll get some answers to it. All right, here is the AAA road trips, the top 10 places USA for 2025 for summer. Okay, and these always pretty much stay the same every year, but this is what AAA says. These are the top 10 places where they have the most driving to. Okay, Southern New England, perfect time of year to go there. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. Northern Arizona, the Grand Canyon. A lot of people in the southwestern United States love that. The Natchez Trace Parkway in Louisiana, through Louisiana. Hershey, Pennsylvania, Dutch County. Southern Arizona, Southern California, Southern Oregon coast. Perfect time to go there. Oh my God, it's just gorgeous. Vegas to national parks in Utah, to Vegas. The Smoky Mountains and the Grand Pacific Northwest, which is up by Vancouver and Seattle and all that. I've never been to Seattle. And one of the places I've been dying to visit is the Puget Sound area with all those little islands and inlets that they got in there. That is so wild. That's crazy up there. Really, but it's always cold. It's always cold up there. All right, let's go to the next slide. So know that. Okay, go the extra mile for more commission. What I mean is this. Like I said, you're in Southern California, or no, let's make this easier. Let's say that you're an agent in Mesa, Arizona, which is in the Phoenix area. And you got, your brother and his family of 4 and his kids, they want to go to San Diego. Great, great, great. Look, I can book you the zoo through Viator, through Expedia Tap, through RoomRes. I can book you that. I can book you airport. I just booked myself a transfer right now off Viator. Boom. I can get transfer, city tours, wine and food tours, museums, amusement parks, zip line, ATV, jet skis, show and concert tickets, golden tickets, baseball tickets. Baseball tickets. Okay, you're going to San Diego. So you're in Phoenix, right? Let's say the Diamondbacks are playing the Padres. Well, I'd love to go to that. Boom, 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 boom. See? Use that. And that's another thing. Look at all this, okay? You don't even have to book travel. What if you got family members that go, wow, man, I really want to go to that ball game. The Cubbies are in town and they're playing the Dodgers. Or the Dodgers are in Chicago and they're playing the Cubbies. Yeah, boom, commission. See what I mean? You get it? Okay, that's not travel. That's just I can get you those tickets. Boom, done. And you make commission. Okay, next slide. Connect with your clients. Inform and assist, be knowledgeable. Now, in this, what I'm going to show you here is that you have to increase your knowledge about your area. Where you live, and about 2 hours around your area. Because this will help you with staycations. It will help you with the road trips. It will help you build more commission, and plus you'll network more and work with more hotels and resorts. And I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Plan ahead. When you're doing a road trip, sit down with the client. Again, you know what? Okay, so you're in Arizona and you want to plan a trip to Idaho. Okay, well, hey, let's sit down. Sit down, map the route, avoid detours, places cheap with fuel, where to get gas, stick to plan route. AAA, they know how to do it. They have all the maps, they have all the websites and everything. Sit down with your client, or if your client says, can you get that for us? So if your client assigns this to you, yeah, we're in Phoenix, we want to go to Jackson, what is it, Wyoming, right? We want to go to Jackson. Okay, how do I get there? You work on this, and then present it to them and sit down. Don't just, I emailed you the itinerary. You guys, the more connection that you make with your client, that's that building that relationship, that's what Mike Archer always talks about. This business is about building relationships because that relationship is going to refer you more business. So that's what I'm saying. Get on that. Don't just, I emailed it to you, didn't even blah, 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 blah. I'm too busy. I don't have time to talk to you. You have to find time to talk to your clients and connect with them and be knowledgeable because they're coming to you for answers. They're coming to you to help them get that full experience in the travel. Wherever they're going, whether it's a cruise all-inclusive resort, whether it's Epic Universal resorts, but you got to get on there and then stick to the planned route, right? So that's on the road trip. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Travel Cafe for travel alerts, always be on top of this. In the Travel Cafe there are, and you go down, I think there's resources. If you check in there, that gives you the full State Department, destinations, and also for the United States, if there's road closures and things like that due to, weather or things like that. I mean, talk about weather. I just helped an agent yesterday. They were in Springfield, Missouri, I guess had not a tornado, some tornadoes that whipped through there and it canceled the flights, and that really altered their arrival into Hawaii. So again, this stuff comes up like fast, and you got to be on top of it, you guys. So plan ahead. All right, let's go to the next slide. Here's a nice one here. Suggest this to the client. Hey, Mr. Client, instead of taking your Ford or your Chevy Suburban that, you got your kids in it, instead of putting all that mileage on it, why don't we get a car rental? More commission for you. And you know what that does, Mr. Client? All that mileage, and we're not putting that on your regular car that you use, and you have a newer car, a better experience, and I'll get you a great rate and you make more commission. That's, instead of going from Phoenix to San Diego in your car, why don't we get a car rental, which is a newer car, and you'll like it. It'll be a lot better for you, and you, the agent, making more commission. So that's what I'm saying. Think. You got to think out of the box, and that would make them. Because what do you have to do, right? If you're going to go on this road trip, Mr. Client, you're going to put the Suburban in the shop. You got to make sure it's up. The tune-up and the tires are good and blah blah blah. So you're spending money before you've even gone anywhere. That money you could have spent on this, and you make commission. Okay? All right, next slide. Do safety travel kit. Of course, you can always welcome. There's tons of this on the internet. But this is something important that you should have on there. It's funny. I watched a bunch of video clips and news stuff from Spain about the outage that they had. The power outage, and there was this family there that I follow, and because they got kids, and she's like, they've lived in Madrid now for 3 years or something, but she's like flipping out because she didn't have this. We didn't have a radio, we didn't have this, we didn't have any of this. I'm going to go and get all that now. Well, this is something that you should have, especially when you're traveling in the car, especially if you've got kids. Especially if stuff's going to start to happen back again. I mean, right now we're in a pretty vulnerable place, as you guys know. Health-wise and everything else, things are still kind of not, it's not back post-COVID. It's still kind of, as we go along here. But get this for your clients. Make sure that they have that. Okay, next slide. Bring your own snacks and drinks. I mean, this is a given. This is a win-win. I mean, I tell you, the prices here going into 7-Eleven, I mean, or going in I drive up to my mom's in Tehachapi, and I try to avoid buying anything like at the gas stations because that's where the prices are really high for soda and water and this stuff. If you bring all that, if you go to Walmart or Costco or whatever and bring all that, you're going to save your clients that much more. So tell them that. Bring your own. Don't be, stopping every 2 hours and, going through this, because that's where the pricing's high. Let's go to the next slide. Explore new destinations. And this is one of the things about, what are the great things about doing road trips, is that this is an opportunity for your clients and family members to go to places like the Grand Canyon. Or if you're on the East Coast, the thing is this, okay? When you live in these places, okay, you never do the tourist thing. I live in Los Angeles, when was the last time I was at Griffith Observatory? 20 years ago? I don't go do that. I don't do those things, but again, this will give that opportunity for your client to, explore new destinations. All right, let's go to the next slide. Summer staycations. This is really a great way to make extra commission. I'll show you an example, okay? This is Phoenix, Arizona. It's Camelback Mountain Resort right here, okay? In the summertime, this place is dead because it's just too unbearably hot. Too unbearably hot. But they have very, very low rates where you can book this. They do stuff like at night. Like the pool is closed during the day, but like from 6 through 3 a.m. in the morning, the pool is open and you can do stuff. This is a great opportunity for your client to experience the Camelback Mountain Resort. And all these other wonderful resorts that they have there. And that's just like one. Same thing like with ski resorts, right? In the wintertime, the ski resorts are because, it's packed, everybody's skiing, blah, blah, blah. In the summertime, right, there's no snow. So there's low they're not booking out a lot. You can get some really great, room rates. Like some high end, So think about that, okay? That's just one of the things here. That's like on road trips too. But now, if you're living in the Phoenix area, okay, you can do a staycation. What is a staycation, Jose? Let's go to the next slide. What is a staycation? What does staycation mean? Vacation spent in one's home country rather than abroad, or spent at home involving day trips to local attractions, also booking an overnight stay at a local area hotel, Airbnb, etc. That is a staycation. So when people want to do that, like I'll show you. Alex knows where this place is. Alex, you know where the W is in Hollywood?
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful hotel.
Oh, yeah.
The W in Hollywood is absolutely high end. Man, I would love to do a staycation there. Mm-hmm. That would just be really cool. And there are some other great hotels in Los Angeles that are just really cool. But I've always wanted, because I had drinks there once, and we had a travel event there that I went to, and I went, wow, this is a really nice place. So that's an example of staycation. Hey, Alex, did we get any responses about what would you do when you have clients going to Spain due to the blackout, the power outage?
I'd say I'm not seeing some just yet. I think people were more so focused on the power outages themselves. But I see some people asking, like, what would you recommend?
Well, you just got to be on top. Okay, so here's the thing, all right? And we're going to talk about this next week. Next week, we're doing what to do when things go wrong. And here's an example of something that went wrong. First off, you got to remain calm because your clients might be high strung. Okay, so you got to remain calm and just say, I'll be able to handle it. What can I do for you? Give them options. Okay, you're in Madrid. There's a power outage. The airport has no power. You've landed. Hopefully you've gotten onto the terminal because you probably were there waiting to get onto the terminal because there's no power in the terminal and they can't move the thing up to the plane so you can deplane. Or you may have deplaned already and you're walking on the flight deck to the terminal and there's no power. You're just going to have to wait it out and find out how you can get that client to the hotel, to their car rental, etc. So remember, it's always about presenting options and letting the client decide what to do. Now you can advise them in regards to these options and say, well, this is what's going to happen if you do option A, option B, option C, and let them know. Now remember, you guys book a ton of families, and that's why I'm saying this. And it's summertime, and a lot of you guys book a ton of families. You book a ton of cruises. You book a lot of Seattle to Miami. A lot of Seattle to Orlando. Those are long flights. So a lot of that stuff happens. So, it's about presenting options to these clients, because again, they're with their kids and their family, and they want to make sure that they're safe, that they can get to their destination and start enjoying their travel experience. Okay? All right, we're talking about staycation. Let's go to the next slide. Here's some things. Okay, important about of staycation travel agent. Clients, they're going to travel locally. You have to increase your knowledge of your area, region, and state. This will help you. This will help you. Example, here in Los Angeles, the last 2 weeks, it always happens every Easter. What's the weekend of Easter in Palm Springs? Is Coachella. What's the following weekend? It's the country one. What's the country one called again? I always forget what that one's called.
Oh, Stagecoach, right?
Stagecoach, okay? So, and that's huge. That is huge. I mean, the influx of people that go into the Coachella Valley, and not only in Palm Springs, but all the desert cities over there. The Airbnb, the hotels are packed, and people are there. But know this. So if your clients are going, you know what, we want to go to Palm Springs for Easter weekend because blah, blah, blah. No, you don't. Because Coachella is happening, and that's going to be really expensive to book the hotels there. How about let's go somewhere else? Let's go to Santa Barbara. Let's go. See? You're advising them, giving them the better travel experience. Okay. No local activities, events for more commissions. Know this, and I'm going to show you how to do this. Okay, let's go to the next slide. You're going to say to me, but Jose, you're talking about Southern California, and I live in Michigan. I live in Iowa. I live in the Midwest, and I'm going to stop you right there. Okay. I don't care where you live in the United States. I don't care where you live in the United States. In a 2-hour circumference of where you live, there has to be a golf course, a resort, a 5-star restaurant. There has to be. There just has to be. I mean, because it is. I mean, I don't know one area, everywhere I travel in the United States, there's golf courses all over the place. Golf courses mean resorts and country clubs, and resorts that you can book for your clients. So, let's take a look at this map. Let's say I do live in Mesa, Arizona, which is a suburb of Phoenix. This is a 2-hour radius map of Arizona. Up there. Look at all the places I get to go to, if you notice there, right? You have Tucson, great old town to visit, beautiful, beautiful hotels, not as frantic as Phoenix. You've got Casa Grande, you've got Wickenburg, you've got a bunch of Flagstaff, Arizona. Talk about going from desert to the mountains. I mean, literally, if you've ever been to Phoenix and you go to Flagstaff, that's going from the desert in Lawrence of Arabia to Sound of Music like countryside. It's beautiful up in Flagstaff. That's 2 hours away. See? So get to know your area. All right? Now here's something else that you do. Let's go to the next slide. Network, network, network. Get out there. So what do you mean, Jose? So I'm driving up to Flagstaff. Oh, there's the Flagstaff, blah, 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 resort, pine tree, blah, blah, blah. Let me stop there, or let me call them. I'm going to be in your area. I'm a travel advisor. I'd love to talk to your sales manager, get a site inspection, tour guide of the area. You would? Sure, because I'd like to know if you guys ever have any specials or deals that I can refer my clients to, because it's 127 in Phoenix. They need to get away. Boom. That's not just one place. Golf resorts, country club. You know what I'm talking about here. Any resort type area that you're driving through in a 2-hour radius, know that. So when someone comes to you and goes, oh man, Bob just had a rough week at work and the kids are this, we really need a weekend getaway. We need to get out of here. We need a staycation that's not too far. What do you recommend? Well, there's the Pine Tree, blah, 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 Flagstaff Resort. It's 2 hours away. Oh, we would love that. Yeah, and they have a sale going on this weekend because I know the guys up there. I did a site inspection. See how that works? I asked for a promotion and they have a deal going on so I can get it for you cheaper. See, that's why they're going to come to you time and time again instead of them going, oh, we don't know where we're going to go. Because we don't know. We don't know where we're going to go. We don't know. Point us in the right direction. Show them. Local and regional activities and calendar events. Oh, you know what? While you're up there at the Flagstaff Pine Tree Bar, they're having the blah, blah, blah festival. Great. The kids would love that. They're having the children, blah, 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 arts. You know what I'm talking about. I'm sorry. I'm blathering now. But you know what I'm talking about, right? If you know this, so know that. Know when Coachella's happening, know when Stagecoach is. No, you got to know that. Santa Barbara's another great town, 2 hours north of here. Beautiful. And it's not as hectic or frantic as Los Angeles, but it's beautiful, and they've got great restaurants, a little pricey. Santa Barbara can be a little pricey. They got vineyards, they got wineries, they just a ton of stuff to do. And they got great beaches. So, again, get in on that. All right, let's go to the next slide. But that's how you do it. So you should go, that should be your assignment. Say, what resorts are in my area? That's number one. What are the 5 resorts that are in my area? Let's call them up. I'm a travel advisor. I'm with Archer Travel, Evolution Travel. I would love to come visit your place, do a site inspection. They would love that. They would love that. That's what they want that. Bring more agents. So we can only do the site inspection, and then you get a full walkthrough through the entire place. You see, walking through the, yeah, I think the Johnson family would really like this as a weekend getaway. Boom. See? Yeah, you got any deals or do you have any promotions or sales that you can offer me? Yeah, I think we do something for you, Jose, because you're bringing us business. Okay? How to book staycations in travel packages, hotel, resort, car rental. Car rental. See? Don't take that Lincoln blah, blah, blah Explorer up to Flagstaff. Take the new, I can get your car rental. That way you're not putting that mileage. Activities, tours, things to do. Tons of stuff to do in Flagstaff. Tons of stuff to do in Santa Barbara. All these little places. Again, when you're doing this, go to Viator, go to Expedia Tap, go to Room Rents, and look at the activities events in your hometown. That way, when you got people coming to visit, you can book that too. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Uncle Charlie and Aunt Mary are coming to visit, and I live in Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm sorry, not Cincinnati, Ohio. My geography's off. I live in Cincinnati.
We actually have someone in chat who's kind of, confirming basically what you're saying. She said, I just got back from my East Coast road trip and had so much fun planning it. And when I was speaking to Hilton, I earned a free getaway.
See? That's what I'm talking about.
Thank you, Brittany.
Yeah, but look, so let's say, Uncle Charlie and Mary coming. And I live in Cincinnati, okay? Cincinnati, all right? Okay, but they're coming, and they've never been here before. Can I get them a hop on, hop off tour? Do they want to go, see the ballpark? Do they want to go see historic stuff? And I can make more commission. They'll love you for that. Gosh, we went to sit, we just didn't sit there and not do anything. Jose, my nephew got me all this bookings, and we went there, boom. He even went to the ballpark. He got his from Golden Tickets. He got his baseball tickets. Okay, next one. Expand short trip. Okay, now the weekend getaway, the 3-day holiday getaway, right? This is a win-win, especially this romantic getaway. Oh yeah, the wife calls. Jose, Bill's been working so hard. We really need a weekend getaway. Can you get us, to Vegas? Can you get us to Palm Springs? Can you get? Again, do that. The easiest way to do it. And you can also increase this with air. You can make a package. You guys do this a lot with you guys, when you have that friend that calls you on a Thursday and Friday, or like they call you on Tuesday or Wednesday. We got to be in Vegas by Friday. You usually book Expedia Tap because that's the most reliable and it gets you there. But again, look about this. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Here's some suggestions. Oh, know your area and your region. I keep going back to this. Know your area and your region. Again, you can book that and make commission on it. Look at all the things you can do, especially all the different times of year. In the fall, there's tons of stuff to do on the East Coast. You have all that turning of leaves, all that stuff. I mean, come on, there's tons of stuff. And in the Southwest too. All right, let's go to the next slide. Luxury first night class overnight stays. This is what I'm talking about. So again, this usually happens in Arizona in the summertime where you can get some really great, overnight stay accommodations first class because there's nobody there. It's 115 degrees outside and the Camelback Mountain Resort, it doesn't have anybody there because it's too hot. So think about that, okay? Let's go to the next slide. Trip types to attract clients on staycations. Okay, let's go to the next slide. This one is very popular. This one is very, very popular. Spa, wellness, back rub, Tai Chi, I mean, they do it all here. Yoga, Pilates, it's just as to rejuvenate yourself. So, find out where the nearest one is to you. Call them up. We'd love to have a tour of your facility. I'm a travel advisor. I've got family coming in for a big holiday thing, and they might be interested in booking. Can I book this with you? Sit down. Do you have any deals? You know, do you have any deals, specials that I can offer my family members or my friends or clients that are coming from the big holiday? They're all going to be here on Memorial Day weekend. There it is, right there. Boom, right there. By you just calling up and saying, hey, you know what? I noticed that you guys have been around in town for 10, 15 years. I've never been to your facility. I'd love to get a tour. We would love for you to do. You're with Arch Revolution Agent. Come on down. We would love that. Next slide. A given. Mm-hmm. Given.
No brainer.
Wine tours, beer trails, culinary. I mean, the United States has some great places to experience this. I don't care what state you live in. You have great restaurants, great wineries, breweries, everything. And that could be a whole tour on itself. You know, in Oregon, we never really talk about the stuff like in Oregon. Oregon has its own beer trail. Yeah, they do, where they go from brewery to brewery, microbrewery. And that could be a whole itinerary if you're really into, microbreweries. You can actually do that and make commission on it by booking those hotels, by booking the tours in these places. And then, the foodie stuff, I mean, there's just so much of it. And you can make some really good commission that way. All right, let's go to the next slide. Romantic weekend getaways, this is a given. This is a given. And there are just so many of them. Airbnb, you guys book a ton of that. Santa Barbara, San Diego, Palm Springs, all of those places have romantic, really chill, just for couples. So, you've got to find out where these places are. So when Mary calls you, who's your wife's best friend, and her husband has just had a horrible week, they need this, you know exactly where to take them to. So don't just sit there resting on your laurels like, oh yeah, I live in Ventura County, I don't know anybody, I don't know any, when you're sitting there going, I'm waiting for the phone to ring, blah, 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 blah. Find out where these places are, because, they advertise them on the radio stations, on the TV and everything, where, yeah, for the romantic weekend, come to blah, 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 in Santa Barbara. Go there, find out. All right, next slide. And of course this, hiking, walking tours. This is around, when I went to El Paso, they even had this in El Paso. So don't tell me you guys don't have this in Texas, because you do. People from all over the world come to El Paso just to go through and walk those mountains up there. They don't have big mountains, but they have hills and stuff, but they have walking trails. So, and that's around the United States. This is in Spain, Mexico, everything. And they have this, look at this. Look at that experience. Find out where the walking tours are. Find out in your area. If you live in Iowa, listen to me. One thing I never knew about, the Field of Dreams that they have from the movie, that's still built in Iowa. You can actually go to the Field of Dreams. And I bet, okay, here's my question. Here's my trivia question. Let me, because I don't know if this is true or not. I want somebody to look up in Viator right now. Can I book the Field of Dreams visitation in Iowa on Viator? I don't even know what city it is in. I don't know. Okay, but there it is. Wouldn't that be a trip to go to the Field of Dreams field? If I'm partial to that movie because I'm a baseball fan and I love that movie. But to go see that, and how much does it cost to go? Do they give a tour? Because the house is still there, right? And everybody's seen the movie, but what if you had clients that, yeah, wow, we're going to go to the Iowa State Fair. I've always wanted to see the Field of Dreams. More commission for you. That's what I'm saying. Know these things, okay? Let's go to the next slide. Okay, here you go. Arch Travel Media. We have a free marketing video on weekend getaways for you, all right? And it really explains it all. And again, you can get this from shop.archertravel.com. You can go get it in our YouTube page, but it's really, and it explains what this is all about. Weekend getaways. Let's roll it. Check it out.
When you need to relax, unwind, or just get away, but you don't have the budget for a big vacation, what do? Save up for a year, but you need something now. The best alternative is the classic weekend getaway for you and that special person in your life. It's an affordable way to get out of the grind and into your comfort zone. But where do you start? There are so many options and places and packages, and you don't want to spend half your weekend traveling. What's the most reachable and affordable destination from where you live, where the crowds are low and the value high? You need a travel pro to help. Your Evolution travel agent is an expert at helping you find the best place, best value, and best match for your needs. Backed by a 67-year-old travel company, your Evolution agent knows the ins and outs and can make that much-needed 2-day or 3-day weekend getaway stress-free. Call or contact them today and get ready to get away.
See what I mean? See what I mean, you guys? It's right there. You know, you got to use this. You got to put this in your video library. You know, I was talking to a friend of mine who's in the travel industry, and he's just like, you guys have that? You guys have that and that and that? I go, yeah, for our agents. Use this. You know, this is going to come in handy, especially when your family members and friends in your neighborhood, and they're like, oh man, you know, we just had been a bad week. We need to get away. We need to get away. Where do you recommend that we don't have to spend all day driving to, that we can enjoy ourselves and our kids? Know these areas. Now that's up to you. You really have to get to know your areas, okay? All right, let's go to the next slide. Alex, do we have any questions or comments or concerns?
You know, I'm seeing a lot of people loving the video, liking everything here in chat. And yeah, no, I mean, see people say, oh, I'm going to email Jose for this presentation. It's some really solid info in here.
Well, yeah, and I know, listen, but you know, I'll show you an example. Baseball tickets, right there. You know, or even soccer tournament tickets, okay? Because, you know, people really like to, the kids now, they don't play baseball. When I was small, everybody played baseball. Little league and then, you know, major league and all that stuff. But now the kids do soccer, and they love going to soccer games. That's also commissionable on golden tickets, and that's local. So take advantage of this. Don't just sit there, you know, and it's now for you to be proactive. Don't just, oh, the phone's not ringing, I'm not getting no emails, nobody's touching me about my travel, blah, blah, blah. Call up the phone and say, you know what, your ABC Resort's down the road. Do you mind if I go down for a site inspection? You're getting up, you're moving, and you're networking with them. So then that way, when your cousin Sally comes in and goes, you know what, we want to have our wedding, but we don't want to go anywhere. We would love to have it around here. Do you know any places? Sure do, Sally. Right down the road at ABC Resorts. I know Bill, the sales manager. That's what I'm talking about, is knowing these areas. They're going to come in handy. The more you network like that, hey man, you're going to be set. You're going to be set, really. If you want a copy of this PowerPoint, all you need to do is email me. There's the email address, joseL@arctictravel.com. I hope the 1 o'clock for Culture Holidays went really, really well. Again, if you missed it, it's right on this Facebook page. You're not going to want to miss it. We've had a great week with them, and again, you know, I salute them for taking time out of their day to be with you guys to explain their product and their brand, and they're pretty cool. Now, the other thing I want to talk to you about is this. On Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, we're going to name the winners of the Tin Leg April, contest. Who sold the most? We're going to give away a $300 gift-o-gram. That's pretty sweet. You know, giving that away. We're also going to give away some travel swag, and we're also going to give away a $50, I think. Is it a $50? Yeah, I think it's $50 gift certificate to shop.arctictravel.com. You're not going to want to miss that. And then I'm also going to tease you for next week. And next week, going to be a good week next week. Going to be a good week next week. We got one of the old dogs coming back.
Ooh. It's going to be a good week.
It's going to be a good week. One of the old hounds of the travel industry will be in the house, and he is a hound, by the way. But it should be fun, and we're looking forward to that. Maybe we'll even get him on the phone on Friday. I don't know. Shh, don't tell him I said that. If you guys need anything, again, it's joseL@arctictravel.com. Have a wonderful evening. I'm Jose Lambert of Arctic Travel Service, and I'll see you guys Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Bye.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.